Okay, there we go. I thought the least that I could do was try to be on time. Um, for whatever reason, my setup didn't want to cooperate. So we're 2 minutes late. But I hope it's not a problem. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you all had enough food to eat, had some good food to eat, some good pie for dessert, then to wash everything down, had a good nap then. Maybe you didn't nap because it's a pretty good football on Thursday. I'm not gonna lie. Detroit, Green Bay, Dallas, and Kansas City was a little bit of a great game to watch. Um, and then Cincinnati just walked in, took over Baltimore's trap, and then now here we are. So yeah, sorry to bring up that Detroit game for all of you Amon-Ra managers. That could not have gone any worse for you. So anyway, welcome to the second half of week 13, right? You got the Sunday and the Monday games here. Starts and sits questions like we always do. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for again, just throwing in all your questions and we'll get to the bottom of these, get your lineup set, maybe pull off the miraculous comeback that we need after, again, we had an Amon-Ra situation this past week. Avery, I'm in a bad situation right now. Need to flex one. Algier, DK from the Titans, Trey Tucker, Alec Pierce. I kind of like DK on the Titans, honestly. If there's a pass catcher right now on the Titans, it is DK. So that's not to say it's a not to say that that's like the only reason that you need, right? Because it's the Titans after all, but like he's getting the ball over some of these other guys. 5-9 Drench, yes. Bear down, yes. That was also on Friday. I did not see that game, unfortunately. I was out and about, but hey, that was kind of a shocker to a lot of people. No one really saw that coming. So, great question here. Bucky Irving or Rico Dowdle? Yes, Bucky Irving is back this week. I'm still playing Rico, even with the tough matchup. I know that he's going to get the ball. I think Bucky's on a snap count. There was talk. I think I saw this on Friday. Maybe it was Saturday, whenever it was. But they're kind of going to give Bucky the ramp up, kind of like what they gave Chris Godwin. So Chris Godwin played about like 35% of snaps. So I'm not expecting a whole lot of Bucky today. So give me Rico just because I know that he's going to be on the field. Thanks, bro. You guys are the GOAT. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Kamani Vidal, Quinshot Judkins, Devin Neal. Devin Neal going up against Miami. Miami has, I saw this the other day. Miami has actually allowed, what is it? They 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They're about middle of the pack in rushing yards against. So they have slightly improved. I know that Devin Neal has an opportunity this week just because there's no Alvin Kamara. Judkins against San Francisco, but ultimately my vote is going to go with Kamani Vidal. No Amari and Hampton. Squeeze out one last, big workload week for Kamani Vidal against a Vegas team reeling a bit right now. I can start you guys. Should I start Michael Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, Devin Neal? I'm already in the playoffs with fighting for a bye. So I can tell you right off the bat, I'm not playing Bucky. When you have some of these other players, you have the luxury of kind of sitting Bucky just to kind of give him the ramp up week and not have to eat the 7 points that he would probably give you then. So between Michael Wilson, Diggs, Ken Walker, and Devin Neal, I like Diggs against the Giants just because as the guy that operates out of the slot the most, not a ton of downfield work, getting the ball out quick, that might play into Diggs' favor a little bit there. And honestly, I'm probably going to go with Michael Wilson. I'm not convinced that Marvin Harrison Jr. is kind of next in line behind Trey McBride at this point. But if you're not comfortable with Wilson because of Marv, I think your option then would be to go with Ken Walker then over Devin Neal. Again, not that I don't think Devin Neal is a bad play. He has opportunity this week, but I think I trust the Ken Walker usage after last week where he played the season high in snaps than Devin Neal at that point. Ryan, after this, we do a drop Ricky Pearsall for Christian Watson, assuming that Ricky Pearsall has another dud of a week. It's not the worst, but I would also say, like, be careful that, like, Ricky isn't then the most valuable commodity on waivers, right? Because you don't want to give somebody that kind of luxury pickup, right, going into playoffs. Jonah on YouTube hits Juwan Johnson, Brenton Strange. My personal, I will say this. In the fellas rankings this week, it goes Brenton Strange, Juwan Johnson, then Kyle Pitts. Personally, I have it Juwan Johnson, Brenton Strange, and Kyle Pitts, and that's saying something because I'm a big Brenton Strange guy. But what I am noticing with Juwan Johnson is this resurgence in the passing game because there is no Rashid Shaheed. So I'm going to follow that. But I don't hate the Brenton Strange play at all if that's the way that you're feeling too. Joe on Facebook, good morning. In PPR, Devin Neal or Kenny Gainwell in the second league in PPR as well. Rico Dowdle or Jalen Waddle in the flex. I can tell you the second league for sure is Jalen Waddle. In the first league between Devin Neal and Kenny Gainwell, I lean Kenny Gainwell. So here's the breakdown for this, right? Kenny Gainwell gets on the field if Pittsburgh is playing from behind and chasing points, which is certainly possible going against Buffalo, but I'm also comfortable saying that this isn't the same Buffalo team as years past that doesn't necessarily like put up points like like no tomorrow. So if you want this the assurance of volume here with Devin Neal, go Devin Neal. But if you're looking for a bit more, I would say upside, to be completely honest with you, like it's probably Kenny Gainwell. So if you're way behind and you need to take the chance on points, like you've got nothing to lose, go Kenny Gainwell. That's my leaning. Pick one in PPR: Bucky Irving, Tyrone Tracy, Woody Marks, or Devin Neal. Fascinating one. I don't feel great about Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy to me feels just like empty volume, right? Volume is just kind of going nowhere. So between him, Woody Marks, Bucky, Woody Marks, and Devin Neal, I like Woody Marks more than Devin Neal. So it is between Bucky and Woody Marks. Then at that point, I might lean Bucky. It's risky. It's very risky. Just because you don't know how much he's going to be on the field. But I just don't feel confident in all the other guys with the matchups, even though that they're going to be, a better bet to get on the field more often. I just don't trust their matchups as much. So I think I lean Bucky, but if you're not sold, you're worried about the 30%, the 30 to 40% snap share that Bucky might get because it's a ramp up game. I would lean Woody Marks out of the other three then. Lions said low ankle sprain for Amon-Ra, so he should be ready by week 15 at the very latest. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to play next week. You look at the NFC playoff picture right now. The Lions are, I just looked at this the other day. The Lions are currently out of the playoffs. They're in the 8th seed right now. Obviously, that's before every other team has played, but here are the teams that like they need, something like Seattle is playing Minnesota today. They're 8-3. Niners are playing Cleveland. They're 8-4. So, they need things to happen to those teams above them to get in. I would not be surprised if Amon-Ra plays next week. Plays more at closer to 80% than to 90%, but I think week 15 is when he's back at the very latest. Genty, James Cook, or Travion Henderson, Bowers, or Warren this week. The luxury of having these decisions. Last time I checked, Tyler Warren is playing. But here's what I will say. No more Chip Kelly gives me a ton of hope for Brock Bowers this week. So I would go Brock Bowers over Tyler Warren. And then between Genty, James Cook, Travion Henderson, I lean James Cook. Here's where we'll go back to the fellas rankings on this. James Cook, Travion Henderson, Ashton Genty. It's in that order this week for us. My personal rankings, I go James Cook, Travion Henderson, Ashton Genty. So I agree with the fellas. I really don't think you can go wrong because I think you can make the same argument that I made for Brock Bowers for Ashton Genty this week. But when you have the James Cook and the Travion Henderson, it's okay to not go with Genty this week. So I lean James Cook than Travion. Iguodala, I want Iguodala shooting. If you know that bit from First Take and Max Kellerman, you know what I'm talking about. Kincaid, Theo Johnson, Brenton Strange. Last time I checked, I thought Dalton Kincaid was kind of on the right track to playing. They listed him as questionable. Where is it? Is there not an official announcement on that? That's kind of weird to me. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? I want Iguodala. Thank you. Yes, I want Iguodala. Honestly, I think to go back to this question here, let me pull it back up. Between Kincaid, Theo Johnson, Brenton Strange. I remember the question, so I won't bring it up. Iguodala goated though over on X. I think I go Brenton Strange on that one. I don't mind Theo Johnson this week either. I've got Brenton Strange pretty high up this week. So I would go with Brenton Strange. Elijah on YouTube, Jackson Dart or Josh Allen. I should trust in my stars, but I'm a Giants fan and Allen can be more volatile. Which is true, but I would also say don't let your allegiances take you out of the right decision. Go Josh Allen. And it's not necessarily that I don't see a world where Jackson Dart outscores Josh Allen, because there is a world where that happens. I will never ever bench one of the biggest names in all of fantasy football in Josh Allen ever. Eagles fan on YouTube, Devontae Adams, Tet or Marv. That's a Devontae Adams one for me. Big fan of Tet, but it's the Devontae Adams one. That's pretty easy. Emeka Egbuka, Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle in full PPR from Ryan over on YouTube. I go Nico. Yes, it's a tougher it's kind of a feisty little matchup with Sauce Gardner this week. But Houston's doing what they can to get into the ball. So in order for me this week, it goes Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle, and then Emeka Egbuka. Crispy on YouTube, Emeka Egbuka, Chris Olave, Quincy Judkins, or Jalen Waddle. Pick one to flex in full PPR. I feel like this is between Emeka Egbuka, Chris Olave. I like Olave. Olave against Miami. Let me do this. Right now in Miami, maybe some rain early on, so maybe that pushes me to Emeka. It just has not been great for Emeka recently, though. That's what I worry about, is that it's just another dud of a game. So I think that's what you do. I think you look at it like this. Chris Olave, is for sure going to get A+ targets. Emeka has 8 to 10 targets in his range of outcomes, maybe 4 catches. Chris Olave could probably give you 6 or 7. So it's not as exciting to play Olave, but I feel like that's the right decision. Nate on YouTube, Kamadi Vidal, Marvin Harrison to the flex. That's a Marvin. All right, sorry, that's a Kamadi Vidal one for me. I've got little faith in Marv at this point with this offense. Um, right now I have Vidal in my flex and Bucky Irving and Gibbs in my running back. So I start Vidal in running back and bench Irving, giving it his first. Yes, this is what you do. Yes. Because it's the Michael Pittman piece of this. I think that's the smartest move to go with. Lucas on YouTube, Quentin Johnson, Ramondre Stevenson, or Parker Washington in the flex and full PPR. It does come down to the receivers for me. I'm going to go Parker Washington on that one. Devin Neal or Kamani Vidal. I still lean Kamani Vidal. Kamani Vidal or Kenny Gainwell in running back 2. Upside Kenny Gainwell. But if you need volume, go Vidal. Danny on Facebook, Tyler Warren with the Tommy Hager banged up Danny Dimes with Theo Johnson. This is actually, I didn't even think about this earlier when I was asked about Brock Bowers and Tyler Warren. This probably needs to get talked about even more. Danny Dimes is definitely not like 100% healthy. There's no way. But I feel like you still got to go Tyler Warren. I think there's better chances. It's usage, it's value, it's utilization in the offenses. I don't doubt that Theo Johnson can walk away with like 3 for 50 or something like that. So here's the bet that you're taking essentially: Theo Johnson to score or Tyler Warren to get volume. That's what it's coming down to. Ben on YouTube, flex spot Bucky Irving, Marvin Harrison, Kenneth Walker, or Jalen Warren. I like Jalen Warren out of that bunch. I can tell you for sure it's not Marv. Wheezy on YouTube. Speaking of Wheezy, I've been a bit wheezy. I need weird sidetrack. Breece Hall, Rico Dowdle, BTJ, or Troy Franklin in the flex. I would go with Breece. Jets going up against Atlanta. Kind of a sneaky good matchup for Breece this week. And GP3 goated on YouTube. Pick 2 for the flex. John Mechie, Kenny Gainwell, Stephon Diggs. Diggs for sure is going to be one of them. Then it's between John Mechie and Kenny Gainwell. I'm probably going to roll out Kenny Gainwell. I think that's the upside is what sells me on that one. In PPR, start 3 from Luke on YouTube: Chris Olave, Wandale Sutton, or Lam McConkey. You're definitely going to start Lam McConkey. You're definitely playing Chris Olave, so it's between Wandale and Sutton. And at this point, I've got more faith in Wandale in this point than I do with Courtland Sutton. We talked about it on our Starts and Sits podcast that dropped earlier this week. Don't know if you have enough time to listen to it, but if you do, you should check it out. Are we, is it going to be totally surprising if we get a Sean Payton curveball where Troy Franklin is non-existent anymore and it's all Courtland Sutton and Evan Ingram? It's certainly possible. It's Sean Payton. But I'm going to go off of what we've seen the past 11 weeks with Denver. That Courtland Sutton is just not as much of a figure piece. That's what it comes down to. I'm hearing people say go Neal over Dowdle. That one I don't really understand. I know that Rico has a tough matchup, but Rico at least gets receiving work. Devin Neal, yes, kind of has a similar opportunity, but going again, I'm convinced that Miami's run defense is better than what it used to be. So people will see Miami and they go, oh, that's a great matchup. I think Miami's playing better on defense right now. I would still go Rico. Maybe it's a bit closer this week, but I would definitely still go Rico over Devin Neal. Danny on Facebook again. Colby Parkinson with the Rams. Pitts, who's been quiet the past few weeks. I'm still going Pitts. Maybe I'm looking at streaming though. Like, I'm going to be honest. If Brenton Strange is available, if AJ Barner is available, if Hunter Henry is somehow available, I would consider them over both of those guys. Parkinson, last time I checked, it's going to be a rainy game today for Panthers Rams. That's the last time I checked. That was a couple days ago. Rain, some having to affect the area. It looks like it clears up, but by like the end of the game. So I would go stream a tight end if one of those guys that I mentioned is available. So bench Irving and start Harvey and Henderson. Darian, yes, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Ethan on YouTube, Jackson Dart, Matthew Stafford. I don't think you can go wrong with both of them. I would probably lean Dart for rushing upside. That's what I would do. Jeff on Facebook, Aaron Jones, Troy Franklin, Bam Knight, or Quentin Johnston. In the flex, I'm probably going to go Troy Franklin. Drench, what's the problem? What's the problem, man? Flex one, Tyler Warren, Jalen Warren, Bucky Irving, or Jaden Higgins. That's probably a Tyler Warren one still. Yeah, that's still a Tyler Warren one, I think. Good morning, y'all. Need a flex in a big week. Please help in half point PPR. Fire away, Sean. Fire away. I'll help you out. We'll help you out. Juwan Jennings, Michael Wilson, Jaden Higgins, a full PPR. Go with Michael Wilson on that one. Jalen Warren or Rico Dowdle. I still lean Rico Dowdle. Closer this week than in past weeks, but I still lean Rico Dowdle. I don't think I've seen your question yet, but just fire it again and I'll be on the lookout for it now that you're saying it. Kamani Vidal, Bam Knight, Aaron Jones, running back 2, Kamani Vidal. Maybe Bam Knight's interesting. It's between those two, I think, but I would still go with Kamani Vidal. Half PPR, Chris Rodriguez, Bam Knight, or Fallen Waller, Darren Waller. In half PPR, I'm probably going to go Bam Knight, then Waller, and then Chris Rodriguez. Pick 2 and need one running back. Judkins, Rico Dowdle, Cortland Sutton, and Justin Jefferson, I'm assuming. Pick 2, need one running back. Your running back, I would lean Rico Dowdle still. But then the other guy then between Judkins, Sutton, and Jefferson. Oh man. It's between Judkins and Jefferson for me. Oh, man. Man. I'm probably going Jefferson. I don't feel great about it, but I'm still going Jefferson. Sorry, send too early. No problem, Sean. Jennings, Aaron Jones, Darnell Mooney. I think I lean Darnell Mooney. I don't like Aaron Jones this week against Seattle. Don't like it. Not my favorite. Drake May, Jackson Dart. Go Drake May. That's tough. It's tough. I think a lot of people will justify the Jefferson play this week as it can't get much worse than McCarthy. But what if it's like next to worst, right? What if it's like right there? That's, again, it's scary. Pittman or Aaron Jones? I would go with Michael Pittman still on that one. Pittman or Jacoby Myers? Go Michael Pittman. I know it's not been great. I would go Pittman still. Cortland Sutton, Kenny Gainwell, Trey Benson need 2 or May or Nix. You're going Sutton and Gainwell. Benson's not playing this week. And your quarterback, Drake May. Pretty straightforward on that one. C-Dog on YouTube. Start one at receiver, one at flex. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson, Michael Wilson. You're starting Wilson at you're starting Michael Wilson at receiver and in the flex. Johnson gets on the field more. Keenan's more likely to draw a target. I'm probably going to go Keenan. I don't feel great about either of them, though. Mechie or Marvin Harrison Jr. nervous after surgery, as am I. I would go with John Mechie on that one. DK Pittman Jr. Ladd, Tet pick 2. You're going to go Ladd and Tet on that one. Dakota, should I start Bucky or keep Judkins in? I would keep Judkins in on that one. You're sure on Michael Wilson, even with Marv back? Yes. Yes. Should I start Darren Waller if you're in a pinch? I'm not forcing him into my lineup, but like if you're staring down like AJ Barner, Kate Ott, and Hunter Henry, one of those guys, I think you can go Darren Waller. I think that's fine. Jaden Higgins or Marv? Let's get ballsy. Let's go Jaden Higgins. I know RJ Harvey is one of your starts, but should I start him over Rico, who is playing the Rams? I think this one, what it really comes down to is floor. Rico probably has the safer floor, but upside does go to RJ Harvey. So it's a matter of like your preference. Like if you need the upside, you need the points because you're trying to mount a comeback, go RJ. You need points just to be, to be sure, go Rico. Kamel on YouTube, not a fantasy question, but how screwed are the Lions' future? They remind me of the Bengals, where they had appeared to be amazing and are slowly regressing. I think it comes down to two things. Can they continue to draft well? And can they actually give the defense some reinforcements? That may be the third thing. Then get a play caller, because Dan Campbell's closer to Ben Johnson than John Morton is, but Dan Campbell's definitely not like the play caller that you want for the future. So you get in better play caller. You draft well and get the defense some reinforcements. The tough part will be how you navigate cap space now that you have all of your playmakers starting to get big contracts, right? You're going to have Aiden Hutchinson's contract hitting the books here relatively soon. Jared Goff's, obviously. Amon-Ra, yes. Jameson Williams, yes. Penei Sewell's going to get a contract. There's a lot of money going around on that team, so you need to really, really be smart. So I wouldn't say that they're screwed, but it definitely does. It definitely can go wrong. That's what I'm saying. Danny, thanks for your help. Last question: Keenan Allen, Parker Washington with BTJ back. I'm going to go Parker Washington on that one. I really got outside of Ladd McConkey and Ronnie Gadsden, I got no faith in pass catchers on the Chargers. Warren or Brenton Strange, with Warren being ill. I'm still going Tyler Warren. But it won't surprise me if it wouldn't surprise me if the Colts are off this week because of Daniel Jones. And if that's the case, it's telling for the rest of the year. Pick 2, DK, Troy Franklin, Bucky, or Sutton. I'm probably going to go Troy Franklin, and I don't feel great about going both Broncos pass catchers. Probably DK and Troy Franklin. I'm not a huge fan of DK, but this week, let me rephrase. Not a huge fan of DK this week, but I can't start both Broncos pass catchers. Bucky is tough. Man. I think you're starting Troy Franklin for sure. It comes down to DK and Bucky. If you're scared of the potential snap count that Bucky's on, go DK. If you're not worried, go with Bucky then. Clay on YouTube, Michael Wilson, Cortland Sutton, or Jaden Higgins. Michael Wilson on that one. Devontae Adams or Terry McLaurin, go Devontae Adams for sure. Pick one in PPR, Darren Waller, or no. Terry McLaurin, Parker Washington, Walker, assuming that's Ken Walker. I'm assuming that's Ken Walker. Don't feel great about Terry going up against Denver with Pat Surtain back this week as well. I'm probably going to go with Walker on that one. Maybe I've got the wrong Walker, but I'm going to go Walker. Starting Nakua, Troy Franklin, Keenan Allen, bench, Wilson, Mechie, Higgins. I want to put Wilson for Allen, but I don't know. I would do that. Even with John Mechie over Keenan Allen, but I would for sure do Michael Wilson over Keenan Allen. Raging Pot Pie on YouTube. Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, or Wandale. I lean Wandale than Michael Wilson. Yeah. I think Wandale and Michael Wilson are pretty close this week. Pick one to PPR. Yes, already got that one. So I think I said Walker on that one. DK stinks. I don't like the matchup with Buffalo this week. And especially with Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't know what I'm going to get for Pittsburgh this week. But what I feel what I'm most confident in is how that backfield plays out. Judkins or Dowdle in PPR. So between those two, we go Rico. Ted or Darren Waller in full PPR, we go Ted still. Jefferson or Ken Walker in half PPR. It's essentially who needs I need a win for the half PPR. You need a win, probably go Ken Walker. I know CMC is a must start. Nick, before I get to your question, I'm just going to say this. I will be the most surprised, shocked Vikings fan, as you can tell, right? Can't figure it out. Yes. On planet Earth, if Max Brosmer helps Jefferson get to 15 plus points this week, I will be the most surprised. I know the team is high on him, but it's one thing to play in the preseason. It's one thing to show college tape when you're playing at New Hampshire and playing one season at Minnesota. It's another thing to go into Seattle against that Seattle defense. I think that's the thing that's kind of getting lost here. Back to your question, Nick. I know CMC is a must start. Do you have any concern with him playing Cleveland's defense in bad weather? I have Nico on my bench. Well, so I'm also concerned about the matchup for Nico. Just getting Sauce Gardner this week. I'm still going McCaffrey. If there's three things that are guaranteed in this life: death, taxes, and Christian McCaffrey getting at least 20 touches a game. So, yes, not a great matchup. Weird weather in Cleveland. I'm going to go with CMC still on that one. Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle. I feel like I answered this one already. Maybe not. Rico Dowdle for that one. Full PPR need two receivers: Nico, Jefferson, Wandale, or Sutton. Go with Nico and probably go Jefferson, but man, is it risky. Michael Pittman, Darnell Mooney, Tet McMillan. Probably Tet still. Matt Stafford or Drake May. Go with Drake May. How do you feel about Brenton Strange? Love Brenton Strange. I try not to overhype, because if I overpromise, overhype, oversell, he'll fall flat on his face. That's just kind of how fantasy football works. You expect somebody to have a good game. They don't. They fall flat on their face. Tennessee, here's the stat for you. They're over 55% of his catches, 60% of his yards come from the middle part of the field, kind of between the numbers. Tennessee plays with the middle part of the field open at the 5th highest rate in the league. So if there's a guy that can absolutely feast for the Jaguars over the middle part of the field that's left open a lot by the other team, it's Brenton Strange. Pick 2 in PPR: Tet, Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle, Ashton Genty. That one, I'm going to ride kind of the wave of a new play caller here in Vegas. I'm going to go Genty. And I'm probably going to go Rico. Probably going to go Rico on that one over Tet. Yes, even in full PPR. Kamani Vidal, Woody Marks. I lean Vidal just slightly. I don't hate Woody Marks. It's just not a super fun matchup with Indy. That's what it comes down to. Let's see here. Jacoby Myers, Michael Pittman. Go Michael Pittman on that one. See, let's do. I wish there was a way that I could send a poll out to everybody, because there is a question that I want to ask all of you guys. There we go. Sam on Facebook, Bowers, Igbuka, Rico, or Harvey. Pick 2. I'm going to go Bowers. If you want ultimate upside, go with RJ Harvey. But if you want more of a guarantee, you want a bit of a floor, I would go Rico, then Emeka, then RJ Harvey. Woody Marks or Aaron Jones for running back 2. Probably going to go Woody Marks. I'm going to go Woody Marks on that one. Ace on YouTube, Flex 1, BTJ, Gatson, Stranger, Jaden Higgins. Probably Brian Thomas Jr. I'm probably going to, yes. Could that absolutely backfire? Yes. But where I run into is just, I'm like, I don't know if any of the other guys don't give you that. I feel like all of them could absolutely sell on you this week. So I'm gonna go BTJ. Pick 2, Devin Neal, Michael Wilson, Emeka Egbuka, Kamani Vidal. You're gonna go to 2 receivers with Wilson and Emeka Egbuka. Good morning. Should I start Keenan Allen, Khalil Shakir, or Kamani Vidal? It's PPR, and was this a good trade? I give Hookah. I traded Rico, Sutton, and Watson. Yes. Getting Puka Nacua out of that deal. Yes. Great deal. Starting though, Shakir, Vidal, or Keenan Allen. I would go Shakir, Vidal, then Keenan Allen on that one. Hunter Henry or AJ Barner in full PPR. I like AJ Barner this week. I like AJ Barner this week. Rico against a tough Rams defense, or Kenny Gainwell against Buffalo, who had 2 touchdowns called back, 1 for penalty, and then they called him down to the 1-inch yard line. Rico's your best guarantee to points. Start over. Rico's your best bet to touches. Kenny Gainwell might have similar upside this week just because the game could get out of hand really quickly for Pittsburgh, and they need him and he'll get on the field then. So I still lean Rico. I'm not. Yes, tough matchup. I'm going to go volume. I will lean on the volume. Neal or Bucky on a snap share. Also, is it time to panic on Lamar? I would still go Bucky on a snap share, but if you want just the guarantee of volume, you can go Devin Neal. I understand it. Is it time to panic on Lamar? Yeah. It's time to panic on like the whole Baltimore offense at this point. I don't know what's different. I need to look into it. It's not the same though. What do you think of RJ Harvey's floor compared to Rico? It's kind of the same, honestly. I see it the same way. Maybe there's a bit more just because of the matchup. RJ Harvey's is slightly higher, but it's not a guarantee for me when it comes to the volume for RJ Harvey. Yes, he got the snaps. Julian McLaughlin took away the goal line stuff. So that's where I go. Little kicker question. I have Boswell. Should I drop from Myers or Borregales? Or even Cam Little? I would definitely go with one of the other two. Probably Myers. Don't hate Borregales. I can't say his name. I'm just gonna flame it. I can't say his name. Bucky or R.I. Trying to remember who would be R.I. Is that Rico? Is that who the question is? It's Rico or R.J. There it is. Bucky or R.J. I probably lean R.J. Harvey. Yeah. In defense, Cleveland or New England, I would go New England. Nah, you know what? Go Cleveland. Go Cleveland. Answered that one already. Bucky or RJ, Marv or Jets, go with Jay Jettis and go with RJ Harvey. So Rico over Ted against the Rams. You don't think Ted will get the volume? I think Ted gets volume. I'm just worried for weather. That's what that comes down to. I think Rico's a better bet for volume. Judkins, Vidal, Harvey, Neal, Bam Knight, pick 2. For sure, RJ Harvey. The last one, though, then becomes between Judkins honestly Bam Knight then, and I'm probably going to lean Judkins. Bam Knight's pretty close though. The Falcons or Chargers defense. Charter. I would stream somebody different, honestly. Excuse me. Arav, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Much appreciated. Jalen Warren, RJ Harvey in full PPR. RJ Harvey, without a doubt. That's a pretty easy one for me. Boregalis. Look, just going to say it. Just going to say it. He's a kicker. Okay. He's a kicker. Okay. I don't feel as bad for not knowing a kicker's last name. Sorry. That's mean. Thanks for the help, my entire team. Yeah, I got you. Pick up Stroud or Donald to start over Lamar last few weeks. I would pick up Darnold. Kind of backup plan. That's the backup plan. Aaron Jones, Pittman, or Jacoby Myers. I would go with Michael Pittman, Deebo Samuel, BTJ, and full PPR. I'm probably going to go BTJ. Michael Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr. I would go with Michael Wilson still. Devin Neal or Brenton Strange. I'm probably going to go Devin Neal. I really, depending on who you have a tight end, I really don't like going 2 tight ends if I can avoid it. Rico Dowdle, RJ Harvey. I lean Rico still, but I understand the argument for RJ Harvey. I really do. So if you don't trust the Panthers, if you don't think Rico, sure, I get it. I really do get it. What were some of these other questions? Full PPR, start 1, DK Metcalf, Quentin Johnson, Chris Olave. I'm still going Chris Olave. Full PPR, start Bam Knight, Chris Rodriguez. I would go with Bam Knight. Answered that one from Abdul already. Olave and his backer give BCJ another chance. Nope, not this week. I would go with Chris Olave. Nico Collins, still start him. Just know it's a tougher matchup when he's going to have Sauce Gardner kind of following him all day. RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson, full PPR. We go with Travion on that one. Need a tight end. Dalton Kincaid, Brenton Strange. If Kincaid doesn't play, I have Ertz. I kind of lean Brenton Strange over Kincaid in the first place. So I would go with Strange. Michael Wilson to Emeka Egbuka. That one's close. That one is really close. I think you got to go with Emeka, but it's not been great. So if you want to kind of risk it for a biscuit, you can go Michael Wilson. Daniel Jones, Justin Herbert. Go with Justin Herbert on that one. Brendan Stranger or Ronnie Gadsden in PPR. I still give the edge to Gadsden as much as I like Brenton Strange. I give the edge to Ronnie Gadsden. Ethan, Jaguars defense, Falcons defense, Dolphins defense, Browns defense. Pick one. Jaguars going against the Titans. Not a terrible matchup there. Falcons and the Jets. Nah, I can't trust the Falcons defense. Dolphins defense against the Saints. No. Browns. I think it's between Browns and Jaguars. I'm probably going to go with Jaguars. Yep, we got that one already. Any other ones that I'm missing? Boregalis. How will Travion do on Monday night? I think that's how it's supposed to say. Wouldn't surprise me if Travion's a top 10 running back at the end of the week. Flex 1, Kamani Vidal, Devin Neal, Juwan Jennings. I'm probably going to go with Kamani Vidal on that one. Ken Walker, Aaron Jones, Kamani Vidal, pick one in PPR. I'm going to lean Ken Walker actually on that one. With Baker Mayfield's injury, start him or Brissett. I would go Brissett even with Baker if Baker was healthy. Like, Jacoby's slinging it. For the flex, Woody Marks or RJ, guessing RJ, you would be correct. You would be correct, sir. You would be correct. Start 2 in full PPR, Breece Hall, Bucky Irving, Quishon Judkins. I'm probably going to start Breece and Judkins over Bucky at this point. Thanks for the help. My entire team has been injured. Jaden, Neighbors, Kraft, Pearsall, Dart. Yeah, man. Hey, let's go. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you out and work around some really, really tough situations. Jefferson, Wandale, Michael Wilson, pick 1.5 PPR. Gosh, oh man. Oh, this is fantasy football in a question. Michael Wilson. Excuse me, Wandale or Jefferson. God dang it, man. Oh, this is man. I still need Michael Wilson. It's just sad. I don't know, bro. Browns in the weather. Cleveland is close to set it and forget it. Defense. Ask them or Pats only because they are so close and forget it as well. Said Jags over Browns. I don't know, bro. That weather in Cleveland is tough. That's the correct argument. I don't hate going Browns over Jaguars. I just see the Jaguars like let me start over. I have no complaints going Browns over Jaguars. I would agree. They are very close to kind of being set it and forget it. I just see a week if there's a week that the Jaguars can actually outscore the Browns defense in fantasy, it's this week just because they're going up against Tennessee. But I really, really don't hate the Browns. I absolutely do not despise the Browns defense in any kind of way. San Francisco Jaguars defense, I would go with the Jaguars defense. Yes, the weather could help out San Francisco, but again, I feel like Jacksonville's defense could have a week. Start to Michael Wilson, Wandale, Debo. The first two go Michael Wilson and Wandale. Vidal is going to get lots of carries. It's just tough because Walker can have a good game and Charbonnet will vulture all the touchdowns. Yes, that's exactly the crux of that problem. Bowers or Warren. Also, thanks for all the help this year. For the first time, I'm first. Let's go, man. Let's go. I would go Brock Bowers. I would go Brock Bowers on that one. Bucky Irving, BTJ as a flex in PPR. I would go with Brian Thomas Jr. Michael Pittman. I'm still going to go Brian Thomas. Marv or T-Mac. I'm going to go T-Mac on that one. Woody Marks or Devin Neal. I lean Woody Marks. Jackson Dart or Justin Herbert got to win this week. Justin Herbert. BTJ or Terry McLaurin in full PPR. I'm going to go BTJ. I don't like the fact Terry getting pass or tan with Marcus Mariota as his quarterback. No thanks. That's just a no-go for me. All right, I'll go for about 4, maybe 5 more minutes. And then I will let you guys go for the week to get lineup set, get everything else in place. I'm just going to shamelessly plug this. We're not done yet. We're not going away anytime soon. Yes, fantasy playoffs start next week for most leagues. Maybe they're starting this week for you if you're doing two a week matchups. So again, we're not going away anytime soon. So if you're not following along, you want more fantasy advice, we go live every Sunday. We go podcast 3 days a week. We post exclusive short form content that is not just clipped up podcast clips or anything like that. Make sure you're following us. We're everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. Like, we're everywhere, man. You can't miss us. So just make sure you're following us for more advice. And if you appreciate the advice, if you want to show your support in any kind of way, that's the best way to do so. So BTJ is going to burn half his owners with a good game on the bench or a bad one starting. Correct. Correct. Tet or Marv in full PPR, we go with Tet. Bo Nix or Jackson Dart. I like Jackson Dart more than Bo Nix. Fannin or Gatson, I would go with Gatson. Harold Fannin, Kobe Parkinson, tough after losing Tucker Kraft in a deeper league. That is really tough. I would go with Harold Fannin. One in the flex, Metcalf, Devin Neal, Kamani Vidal, Khalil Shakir. I would go with Kamani Vidal. Vidal or Brian Thomas in PPR in my flex. I also have Woody Marks, but you have JT as well. Yeah, that makes sense. I would probably go with Vidal on that one. No, if it's full PPR, you should go Brian Thomas. Answered that one already. Quinshon Judkins, Brees Hall, and Standard go with Brees Hall. Half PPR, Lad McConkey, Chris Olave. I like Lad McConkey over Chris Olave. Should I start Brenton Strange, Kyle Pitts, or Hunter Henry? I think Strange. Yes, Sam, you are correct. Go with Brenton Strange. Troy Franklin or Emeka Egbuka, non-PPR. Whoever has the more yards or whoever scores, I'm going to go with Emeka on that one. Emeka or Wilson. It's not Garrett Wilson. I know that for sure. Michael Wilson. That's who it is. I like Emeka slightly more than Michael Wilson this week. Marv, Diggs, BTJ, or Michael Wilson. Going Michael Wilson. It goes Michael Wilson, Diggs, BTJ, then Marv for me. Michael Wilson or Judkins, I would go Michael Wilson. Big game for Puka today. He's been a bit slow recently. Correct. I'm not sold that it's going to be this week, but Puka is definitely not going to like sell on you this week. That's for sure. Kenny Gainwell or Marv. I'm going to go with Kenny Gainwell. Pick one between Warren, Genty, Judkins, or Bucky. I'm going to go Genty on that one. Jackson Dart or Jacoby Brissett in PPR. I'm probably going to go Jacoby Brissett. I'm going to go Jacoby Brissett. Full PPR, Ronnie Gatson or Juwan Johnson. I would go with Ronnie Gatson. Sam, thanks, of course. Got you, my guy. Ethan Jags defense or San Francisco defense. I would go with Jacksonville's defense. Would it be bad to start Dart over Herbert because I might need a Monday Night Miracle? I understand it. I'm going to go offense, though. What offense is better? That's kind of how I would see it. Big homie, again, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Much appreciated with the twofer. Bucky, BTJ, or Woody Marks, most upside in PPR. The most upside. I want to say it's Brian Thomas Jr., but I'm not convinced that it is. I think the most upside this week might be Woody Marks. It might be Woody Marks. But in this situation, I feel like you're going to have, you should go Brian Thomas Jr. Pick one, Genty, Warren, Judkins, or Bucky. I would go with Genty. Colin, full PPR. Good to see you again, Colin, by the way. Full PPR, Rico, Shakir, or McConkey in the flex. I would go with Lad. Drop Ricky for Terry. I don't hate it. If you can make that change right now, I'm not playing Terry this week, but with the Commanders trying to get Jane Daniels back, I like that more. I like Terry a bit more then. Pick one, RJ Harvey, Judkins, or Deebo Samuel. I would go with RJ Harvey. Full PPR, Tyler Warren, Brenton Strange, Darren Waller, probably Tyler Warren still. Olave or Bucky in the flex. I would go with Chris Olave, Jalen Warren, or Ken Walker. I like Jalen Warren just slightly. Thank you. You're the GOAT. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys. Michael Pittman, Aaron Jones, Jacoby Myers. Yes, advanced. This is Michael Pittman. Devin Neal or Bucky Irving. I still lean Bucky, but if you want the more, if you want the reassurance of volume, go Devin Neal. Good luck, everyone. Thanks for the advice, of course. Thank AJ. Thank you. Hey, no, thank you for tuning in. Should I start Troy Franklin or Kamani Vidal? I would start, if it's full PPR, go Troy Franklin. If it's half, go Kamani Vidal. Bo Nix, Justin Herbert. I would go with Justin Herbert. And a couple more to wrap things out here. Theo Johnson, Harold Fannin in full PPR. We go with Theo Johnson. Full PPR, sit one, Olave, Franklin, Vidal, Jalen Warren. Sit one. I'm sitting Vidal on that one, I think. Mooney versus the Jets scares me. Jones might get a ton of dump offs. And garbage points, I'm lost. I just see that Mooney's like the only guy that Kirk Cousins can throw to outside of Bijan Robinson. Trevor, my guy, tuning in late. Good to see you. Good to see you. Jordan Addison, Brian Thomas, Jaden Higgins, or Brenton Strange. I like Brenton Strange, but I don't really like playing two tight ends. I think I'm going Brian Thomas. It stinks because somebody had said this earlier. He's either going to have a good game when he's on your bench, or he's going to have a dud of a game when he's in your starting lineup. But that upside on the chance that you get it right pays some dividends. Colin, James Cook, Nico, Emeka, ETN, or Tet in full PPR. Choose one. Choosing one. I'm probably choosing James Cook. Last one here from Joseph on YouTube. Aaron Jones, Devin Neal, or Darnell Mooney. Choose one. Ah, man. Oh, gosh. Probably Aaron Jones slightly, but volume. If you want volume, go Devin Neal on that one. Ain't that true? It's just how it works this year. Choose one. Wilson, Olave, Waddle. Go with Jalen Waddle. Should I start Diggs or T-Mac? Need help and thank you. I would go with T-Mac. Probably a bit closer because of weather, but I would go T-Mac on that one. And lastly, Michael Wilson, Justin Jefferson. That is fantasy football for you this year in 2025. Man, I'm going to go Jefferson. Bam Knight, Devin Neal. Go Bam Knight. Already, y'all. Bam Knight over Devin Neal. 11:45. Thanks for tuning in. Again, if you're not following us along, we post content every single week as we get into fantasy playoffs. Maybe you want to tune in. Maybe get all the help that you want, all the help that you can get. It's right here for us or for you. So make sure you're following us. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Wait. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. That's where you can find us. We have personal Twitters. You find me on Twitter at Tyler_Plath. What else can I plug? Let's lock in playoff spots. Let's lock in our bye weeks. Maybe we need to squeak in. Let's do that this week. Judkins, Woody, or Franklin. Last one here because I'm feeling nice. I'm going to go with if it's full PPR, go Troy Franklin. If it's half, go Quinshon Judkins. Thank you all. Best of luck in week 13. Hope everything pulls for you. I'm pulling for all of you guys this week. Hopefully we can all, again, get into playoffs, get our bye weeks, all that stuff, and let's then push for championships. You'll want to tune in, helping you with some championship level advice to get there and to win it all in the coming weeks. So don't miss out. Again, best of week in week 13. We will see you guys on the next pod, or we will see you guys next week on this live. Deuces.